again. Welcome to week 19 of How Not to Diet Book Club. Can you believe that you've stuck with it all this way? We read pages 541 through 570 this week. It's kind of a summary of the book. And I just want to thank you for going with me on this journey of discovery. I have dearly loved reading and discussing the book with you and spending time with you. This week, Dr. Greger talked about walling off your calories, which means eating whole, intact grains and beans in your diet so that those rigid cell walls of the plants can help ferry those little fat cells all the way out your system. Then he reviewed the 21 tweaks of maximum weight loss and weight management. He talks about liquid foods versus solid foods. Liquid foods are not as satiating as solid foods. One reason is because they go through your body so quickly, your brain doesn't have time to register that you're full. But processed foods, junk foods, are highly refined and they cause rapid weight gain and fat storage, and our brains are just not wired to handle refined carbs or liquid calories. We know that the fast food industry, the alcohol industry, the tobacco industry are not there for us. They don't have our best interests at heart. They are out to make money. And we realize now that the tobacco industry was a predatory industry. One tobacco industry executive was recorded saying, "We don't smoke that stuff, we just sell it. We just reserve the right to smoke for the young, the black, and the stupid." That makes me angry. I look forward to discussing with you what you think it means that the fast food, alcohol, and tobacco industries are predatory industries. They lead to the obesity epidemic, at least fast food certainly has. 9 out of 10 obese people have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and of those, 2/3 have advanced liver scarring. That wreaks havoc in the body. Liquid food is less satiating than solid food. For example, whole nuts are more satisfying and satiating than nut butters, because nut butters have been pulverized into tiny, tiny particles that are absorbed into our bloodstream quickly. Dr. Greger likes to say, it's not what we eat, it's what we absorb. When you change the structure of a food, especially a whole grain or a bean, the finer you process it, the faster it absorbs into our bloodstream. For example, oat groats are the whole grain. If you take that and cut it like steel cut oats, it's in smaller pieces, so it's going to absorb more quickly. And then the instant oats that have been steamed and smashed flat and little bitty particles, those are not going to stick with you. My daddy liked to say, they're not going to stick to your ribs. And bread versus spaghetti. Interesting, Dr. Greger talked about that research. Bread has so many air bubbles that the bread breaks down quickly into your bloodstream and is absorbed into your bloodstream, spikes your blood sugar levels, whereas spaghetti is so compact, it usually breaks into bigger chunks and just takes longer through the bloodstream. Now you want to stick with whole grain pastas if possible. Now, the champion of fiber, I guess, is beans and whole grains, and lentils seem to be really, really satisfying because their thick cell walls are not broken down and they travel slowly through our digestive system And those intact grains and intact beans have so much fiber and bulk that helps us to feel full. The little bits that are broken that finally reach the small intestine feed our good gut bacteria with starches and probiotic nutrients, and help to boost the immune system and to reduce inflammation. Lots of good benefits from eating whole intact grains. Now, milled flour is pulverized into this fine powder, and it is absorbed in the bloodstream kind of like crack, well, a lot like crack, because it travels the dopamine rush that you get from eating processed foods that are so addictive. They are addictive because they travel the same pathways as crack. Milled grains create that powdery white substance that is absorbed quickly in the bloodstream. They spike sugar levels, and they speed up fat storage, and it does remind me of other powdery white substances that are absorbed quickly, are highly addictive, and deliver a big dopamine rush along those same pathways. Food for thought. Dr. Greger recommends that we wall off our calories because those little particles of the bigger particles of food that we digest grab hold of the little fat cells and carry more fat cells out. So it's not really as much what you eat as what you absorb. Dr. Greger recommends his Daily Dozen app on the phone so that you can eat the healthiest foods available and crowd out the junk food because you're so full of the good stuff. On that Daily Dozen app at the bottom is listed, there's a little section of 21 tweaks that you can click, and you can check off the boxes of those 21 tweaks. I recommend that you start with the Daily Dozen first, get that mastered, and then if you have time later, go with the 21 tweaks. For me, I kind of got off track on the holidays with the food, and so getting back on track, it helps to write down my food or to record it on my Daily Dozen app, and it might also help to get an accountability buddy that can kind of partner up with you to check your food log or check your Daily Dozen app. Because, like on the freeway, when you see that policeman or know somebody's watching, you're a lot more compliant. We want to be completely aware of what we're eating because we'll be more successful that way. And we want to be completely honest as well. I wish you the greatest health and the greatest happiness. And I thank you again for coming with me on this exploration of how not to diet. And I'd love to see you again in future book clubs with 60 Living website, because I enjoy you and I enjoy learning, and I know you do too. So remember, you matter. Never give up. See you in the next book club. Bye now.